Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Virtual Encounters. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. We have a very special and interesting guest today, Mr. Alvin Kallicharran, one of the greatest Test cricket has ever seen, cricket legend, former West Indies cricketer. He's joining us live from United States. Welcome, sir. Welcome to DD India. First of all, how have you been doing?
Very well, thanks, Abhishek. I'm very, I really thank you for having me and Doordarshan.
And the difficult times for all of us, but we have heard that sports persons are mentally very tough, very strong. How are you dealing with these times? I mean, how are you dealing with COVID times?
Well, COVID times are it's part of life,
Hmm.
and if you believe in yourself, believe in your character, believe you can do, know what you can avoid, then life goes on.
And also, sir, you watching India versus England series. It happened in Australia also that after losing the first test, India made a fantastic comeback. And against England also in the test series, the same thing happened. And in the T20 series also. So it's a habit now, India. I mean, they are losing the first game and then making a superb comeback.
Now it goes to show the strength of India's cricket now,
Hmm.
the character of the players, the character of leadership. They don't know how to lose now. And that's a great thing that Virat Kohli has really cemented in the dressing room attitude,
Hmm.
and they've got a strong attitude. And when you have that kind of attitude, there's so much of positive vibes, and people stop looking at the negatives. Only way to we are going to win, not how we're going to lose or
Yeah.
survive.
Hmm.
That's the attitude.
Hmm. And so your comments on the test series versus Australia that India won and also again against England at home.
Well, exactly. One thing is here for the past. They used to travel and they used to try to survive. Now, to go to Australia and beat Australia in the backyard is unknown. You know, it's very unknown. And that again comes back with the all round ability of the Indian team.
Yeah.
You've got good quick bowlers, you've got top batsmen, you've got spin bowlers, you've got seam bowlers, you've got top fielders. So, arguable, they're the number one team in the world.
Yeah.
Balanced team.
Hmm. You think
To come back and beat England.
it happened in
Yeah.
Australia also and then against England also? Uh, Big players perform. I'm talking about Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma. They performed well, but again, it was youngsters who performed exceptionally well. And because of the youngsters doing so well, India won the series in Australia and then in England also,
Yeah.
against England also at home.
Well, yeah. Well, that tells you one thing: the standard of the cricket in India, and the hunger of the players, and the competition for places, and to win with Raj and these boys and Rohit Sharma, and not scoring excessively. I mean, for example, in the last Test match that India beat Australia with what, 9 youngsters?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Sir, talking about you personally, you played international cricket for West Indies for almost 9 years from 1972 to 1981. You were part of two World Cups that West Indies won, 1975 and 1979. You played first class cricket for 24 long years, over 32,000 first class runs, and 4,399 in test matches. Are you satisfied with what you have achieved as a cricketer?
You know, you can look back and say, yes, you could have done this, you could have done that.
Hmm.
There's so many ifs. If we all use ifs, there's no end to it.
Yeah.
But all I can say is just I had a wonderful career. When I set out to play the game as a young kid, my ambition was to play cricket. And even at that time, even if I had played one test match, I would have been satisfied. But it created a great career for me. You know, it became a career, it became my living. So there's no regrets, whatever I may or may not have achieved. I can look back and say I could have done this and I could have done that better. I stretch myself to the limit to what I can achieve. And that's what I did. And that's all I could have achieved in terms of a career.
You think you could have played more of international cricket?
Well, I'll say that again, if you think, but we don't know,
Yeah.
may or may not, but life, we don't know what tomorrow is.
Yeah. A few days ago, sir, I was watching your video. You were thrashing Dennis Lilly all over the park. And if I ask you, who was the toughest bowler that you faced during your times?
They were all tough in that period. They were all tough in
But
that
you,
period.
but you used to thrash everyone.
Well, that was part of the job.
Yeah.
That was part of the job. So now the standard in terms of that was very, very great. You had the Australians, Lily Thompson, then you come to India with the Indian spinners. They were the best quartet to what you could have ever seen. And then came Indian fast bowlers. The first was Andy Roberts, then the Holding, and then all the branches start to fall off with all of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
So it was tough cricket in that period. Yeah.
yeah. You think, like you mentioned also, you think during your times cricket was a lot tougher in the sense that uncovered pitches, no helmets, maybe not a very good quality of the gears that you used to wear, and no restrictions on bouncers, and you had different set of bats, not bats that you get nowadays. You think cricket during your times was a little difficult?
First of all, equipments.
Yeah.
You take what you get. There's no big choice.
Yeah.
There's no big choice of equipment.
Yeah.
You take what you get. And in terms of the equipment, the pads, the gloves, they were a little bit more. The bats, as far as we are concerned, they were the best bats in the world. To have a new bat every time, it was the best. It was a question of the equipment as such. All you want to do be successful, and when you want to see success, you don't see adversities. You look only to face a ball. You face cricket ball every time. And every cricket ball, that's another 4, that's another 2. And that's another 100, that's another 50. That's another selection for the West Indies. That's another 3 years contract for Warwickshire. So all you're looking at hitting cricket ball.
But were you not scared of facing the fast bowlers without helmets?
Well, number one, I grew up on a diet of that in the West Indies to start with. But when people ask you about these things, from the time you start thinking that, that kind of attitude, you walking out with negativity.
Yeah.
And once you walk out with negativity, a lot of guesswork happening. Your mind starts to trick.
Yeah.
As I'm working with now on youths and boys and everything, just focus on a cricket ball.
Yeah.
And there's only one ball you can bowl at a time. You can't bowl 2.
Right.
One ball. So face one ball at a time.
So tell us your camaraderie with the Indian cricketers. You had come here twice during your international career, and the likes of Sunil Gavaskar, Gandappa Vishwanath, uh, uh, Patodi, Prasanna, Kapil Dev. You played with everyone. Mohinder Amarnath, Venk Sarkar.
Missionary,
Yeah,
Bish.
you, yeah.
Yeah,
You
a
all
great
used to have.
camaraderie. Is it?
Yeah, you all used to have a good laugh after the day's play.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, they never called me my name. They only called me Indian. All call me Indian. And then to go back to India often to, um, myself, Vishy, we maintain that friendship because we go to Sri Satya Sai Baba in Bangalore. We meet there very often, the three of us. So we still share that friendship together with ever so often I speak to Bishan Bedi, Paji, very, very close friend. So we still maintain that kind of relationship.
Who was your good friend back then?
Then Vishy and I would say Vishy was one of the most down-to-earth men I've met. Gundapa,
Right.
Paji, Bishan Bedi.
Mm.
Sunil is a
Like
good friend too. He's a bit more serious.
okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But
how
all in all those friends,
Mm,
yeah, the good. Yeah,
mm.
go
But so
on.
how cricket started for you? You always wanted to be a cricketer, or someone pushed you to be one?
My parents didn't know I played cricket.
Mm,
All play in the streets,
mm,
play in the any pasture,
mm.
not knowing one day what destiny was going to be.
Yeah.
But when as you grow up, you see everybody playing cricket, and you play cricket too.
Mm,
And that growing up in the village, it wasn't easy. As heavy equipments, we just used to play with a piece of stick and a ball made of the trees. And we used to hang around with that. I used to play all day.
mm. According to
And
you,
knowing,
sir, yeah, yeah. Please go on. Please go on.
yeah, and from there it went on. You
Mm,
hear people talk and you're scoring runs, and that's it. And I believe in that. And that played a very important part in my career.
mm.
What I teach kids, make simple things a habit. And the simple things of habit is to score runs. And when you score runs, you're spending time in the middle. So you don't have time to make excuses.
Yeah.
Make
So
simple things.
yeah. So according to you, your greatest innings in Test cricket, which you cannot forget, maybe 158 versus England, when you were run out by Tony Greig and it was controversial.
Oh boy. Well, I must have been mad after all batting all day to take a single when somebody stopped it in front of the wicket. Last ball of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your best moments in cricket career, maybe your debut, your highest score, any moment which has been best according to you?
You know, you can score runs,
Hmm.
as you can win games, but there's nothing more satisfying than I achieved what I wanted to do
Yeah.
was to play this match.
Hmm.
That was all my dreams. It's better than all scores.
Yeah. And sir, do you often visit to India? As in, you said that Indian cricketers used to call you Indian. So tell us your time here, the time you spend here in India, and also I heard that till 2019, if I'm not wrong, you were here at Puducherry giving
Yeah.
coaching to youngsters.
Oh yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, every year,
Hmm.
myself and my wife, we come on our spiritual mission we go to Puttaparthi, myself and my wife, and then we come back to Bombay, we go to Shirdi, and then we go to Nasik to visit another temple, which my wife likes. So that's our spiritual journey every 2 years.
Okay.
And then I was doing some work in Pondicherry. And so I'm visiting India more often than I do visit West Indies.
Okay. And so tell us, how has been the life after cricket? I mean, you are into coaching now, we know, but has the life been the same or it has changed a lot after you left cricket?
No. You know, when I finished playing, there were no regrets.
Yeah.
In terms, we spoke about that earlier on. What could have and what could have been not. But there were no regrets because I had enjoyed a wonderful career. And that's why, I mean, when I put all those experiences, what I enjoyed, and I put that into a book.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I did it in honor of my mother.
Okay.
Because they called Colorblind.
Yeah.
It's about growing up as an Indian person in Guyana. And my roots, talk about my roots in India. My mother is Madrasi. So we spoke about all of that. Adversities growing up on a difficult, not everything is hunky-dory in life, So the situation in which we grow up and now we achieve those success and keep going on and fighting hurdles.
Here you go. This is the book that he has written.
Yeah.
And also, sir, you played under different captains, Gary Sobers to start with, and then Rohan Kanai, and then you played most of your cricket with Clive Lloyd, under Clive Lloyd also. Who was the best captain you played under?
They were all in different categories. I mean, they were no different. They were all great examples of West Indian cricket. And for me, you couldn't beat like Rohan Kanai and Sir Gary Sobers. To be in the same dressing room with them as captain and learning from them. But at that time, West Indies cricket was just building up again. When Clive became captain, it was a young team merged together. All of us were very young players. Most of us were going on our first or second tour. Andy Roberts was the only fast bowler. All of us, Lance Gibbs, together with Clive and Roy Fredericks and Derek Murray, they were the senior players. And everybody else were young players. And then came the Michael Holding, and then the Joel Garner, and then the Colin Croft made that, and then the emergence of the Greenwich and the Richards, and then the death. So it formed that combination of that whole team. So it was a bond of players. It wasn't the ability of the players. It was the professionalism of those players, because all of us were playing county cricket in that period. So everybody knew the game. Everybody knew the game professionally. So everybody had to share the burden. And two, West Indies could have picked two teams in that period.
Yeah, that's right. Agree with you.
Yeah. They could pick two teams in that period. So when you get the opportunity, you had to grab it.
Yeah, that's right.
You had to grab your chances. And that's the great success of that team. The great success of that team, they professionally, and the will to win. The will to win. They were hungry. They were hungry chaps in the dressing room.
And who can explain better than you how difficult was it to get into the West Indies team of 1970s or 1980s, and you played in that era? And sir, what is the biggest difference you see now if we compare the current West Indies team with your era, 1970s and 1980s?
Well, you could see it. You could see what's happening. I mean, we used to be winners.
One is professionalism. You can explain better.
Yeah, one is our professional because we grew up in that era where all of us were professionals.
Yeah.
And if you talk, when you talk about money, you know,
They're
you
getting a lot.
complain about money. Yeah. Well, here, what we used to say is if we didn't get enough when we were playing, do you imagine what the great players in the past, the Sir Frank Fowler, the Everton Weeks, or the Clyde Walcott, or the Gary Sobers and the Rowan Kana and the landscape, what they earned? We were lucky that we were able to get some.
Yeah.
But then again, it was all about winning in that era and maintain a career. Now the game spread to a different level in terms of a bit more commercialism, impact of television, 2020, and all these games have turned up. And I don't know, sometimes people get shifted from one game to the other in terms of test matches to 2020. I don't know if the transformation has some effect sometimes. So for me, we were fortunate to play and able to. You may say one thing, and I personally think that if I were to play now, probably I may not have been that successful. I may earn plenty money, yes, but we were so hungry to perform that when I went out, every time I score runs to West Indies, that's another tour. Every time I score runs to Warwickshire in England, that's another 3 years contract. So I used to call it my bank balance.
Yeah.
So we were working from year to year, period to period. So I would call it, that's what I will call it. That's what made us stubborn. And it made us hungry. And it made us more disciplined.
You think the hunger is not there in the current West Indies team, but you think the current West Indies team that is playing can bring the past glory back, the West Indies days back?
Well, you know, people like me, we've been hoping that would have happened 20 years ago. Since then, it's happening. And hopefully now they can turn it around, with a bit more passion, a bit more hunger, and a bit more discipline from the board.
Yeah.
And what's wrong, I don't know. You hear so many different stories between board and management and players. I'm not too sure which one is which.
It's very unfortunate also the likes of Bravos, the Gales, the Narins, they are not playing for the West Indies team, although they are playing different leagues, T20 and T10 leagues. But sir, on a lighter note, do you speak Hindi also?
I know a little bit, Tura Tura. In my
do you sing songs?
Much,
do you sing songs in Hindi, or do you hear or listen to the songs in Hindi?
I used to listen to Bishan Berry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you sing a song for us in Hindi if possible? Just one line.
Oh boy, no, not me. I can nothing special. No.
Okay. Well, while coming to the studio, my producer asked me to ask this question from you. Is also almost of your age only. Did you lose your cap in Jamshedpur when you had come to India once?
Yeah. Was he the one who took it?
No. No, he was very curious to ask this question from you.
Yeah, somebody stole it from my head.
Sorry?
In Jamshedpur.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to elaborate more on that story?
No, I was coming off the field or something. Batting or something, and next thing I lost the cap.
Okay. Did you get it back?
Right. He's right.
And did you get the cap back?
No, no, never. No, somebody enjoyed. Don't worry with that.
Okay. Last question, sir, before we wind it up. What advice do you want to give to the youngsters?
Always be hungry. Always be disciplined.
Hmm.
You just practice with what you want to do with all seriousness. Be patient. Patience is the key. Patience is the key in all of this. Adversities, it will help you to do all of that. Discipline only. Forget one thing. Forget one thing. Always look at your own game.
Yeah.
Always look what you can do,
Hmm.
not what other people can do.
Right.
And simple as
Very.
that. It's all in the book. It's all in that book.
Absolutely. Discipline, hard work, and self belief. These are the keys to success that is coming from none other than Mr. Alvin Kallicharran. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for giving us your precious time.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Well, that's all we have in Virtual Encounters. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.